there is a problem, and the problem is that many Cameroonians, especially southern Cameroonians, are trying by all possible means to eradicate part of the history of Cameroon. If you look at this comment, you say, do you have any legal proof to show that southern Cameroon is part of French Cameroon? There have never been a time in my video that I say that southern Cameroon is part of, because when you say something is part of something, it means that maybe that thing is inferior, is like a parasite that it come and attach to this. So I've never said that in my video. So if this is your first time on TFA Talking Point, listen right to the end, and also remember to subscribe to TFA Talking Point. The history of Cameroon is very open, and on TFA Talking Point I keep on asking a lot of questions that have never been answered. Cameroon was one under the German colonization, and then after they were being defeated after the First World War, Cameroon was handed over by the League of Nations to France and Britain, and they divided the territory into two, and then they were governing this territory under the supervision of the League of Nations. And with time, they started developing or colonizing this territory because the League of Nations was weak. And when the League of Nations collapsed, it was the United Nations inherited the atrocity of the League of Nations, and this territory, Cameroon, was transferred under the United Nations Trusteeship Council, still in control of France and Britain. So let me explain it this way, maybe you will understand. It's just as if you have a piece of land, and then you have two brothers who want to maybe use the land. The lands belong to you, and then you give it to brother A and brother B, and then the brother A is doing this, using this part, brother B is using this part. The land belongs to you. That is how Cameroon was. So Cameroon was never legally colonized by France and Britain. This is the whole issue. So when the United Nations was being influenced, that they decided to separate Cameroon when French Cameroon was achieving independence. They decided to grant independence to them without asking where is the other part of Cameroon. That was the mistake the United Nations did. And this mistake is the origin of the crisis we are having today. Because normally they were supposed to ask them, okay, this was the land given to us by the League of Nations. Okay, they should come together to achieve their independence. They granted independence to French Cameroon without giving independence to, because the United Nations was weak and they took advantage. Britain and France took advantage of. So all these issues we have to put them together. And when if the British Southern Cameroon, now British Cameroon wanted to achieve independence, they set a question, because British wanted part of a British Cameroon by all means. That is why they divided the voting, the referendum, into two: British Northern Cameroon and British Southern Cameroon, to vote separately, because British they were desperate to have part of Cameroon. And this is where another division came in. So when a British Southern Cameroon voted to join French Cameroon, it was not like they were coming as a parasite. No, they came and have equal status with French Cameroon. So you should not say as if they are parasite, they came and they are part of this. No. In this union, there was not superior part of Cameroon and there was not inferior part of Cameroon. They were all equal. But the whole issue is that if France never decolonized Cameroon up to date. So that is where all this problem of assimilation came in, and through assimilation, marginalization, maltreatment, a classification of the third class, second class, first class citizen, and all this issue created the Anglophone crisis, and the Anglophone crisis created the Ambazonian crisis, and that is where we are here today. So Southern Cameroon is equal to, nobody came to, or nobody is the inferior one. Southern Cameroon is part of Cameroon, not part of French Cameroon. It is part of Cameroon, not part of French Cameroon. So if left to me, Cameroon is, or have to come together, that is French Cameroon, British Southern Cameroon, and British Northern Cameroon, to form the Cameroon that was originally divided in Berlin Conference. That is the Cameroon I am campaigning for. Because all African countries hold onto the boundary that was divided in Berlin Conference, except Cameroon, that have been cut, and distributed as a piece of cake. So we have to understand this whole issue and be truthful to ourselves, and we will help ourselves.